One of the ideas I had for the garden this year was to take the little worms that grow in my compost pile, and put them into this separate little container and feed them, and hopefully propagate more of the native worms into my regular flower garden. So I would kind of seed the population in here and then be able to put them into the flower garden. So I don't know really how well this idea worked. I fed them with all kinds of goodies. An interesting thing in here, I am not a big fan of the composting bags that they give you at the store now. Is that a live worm or a different thing? I don't think that's a worm. Which I'm not a big fan of putting in my compost pile, but actually the worms loved hiding in it, and that is completely gone. Some little bits of sawdust and leaves from the mulberry tree. If you haven't watched my video on the mulberry tea, you can see that on my shorts. They ate all the strawberries here, not the strawberry leaves. Eggshell. I'm assuming the worms themselves are going to be more on the bottom here. That looks, more little plant. Oh, it's probably mulberry stems. Okay, let's see how they did. What is that? Oh my goodness, I got a rock in there. Okay. This should be more of the worms. Ah, there they are. Okay, we got one. I put 12 in. So let's see if they multiplied. They're hard to count, aren't they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Get back over there. 13, 14, okay, 15, 16. Well, not a super amazing amount of growth, but something. There might be some more down in here on the bottom. And of course, like I said, well, whoop, there's another one. 17, 18. Oh, that's a pill bug. That's all right. They can stay. 19. Okay, this seemed to work. I didn't think that it worked that well, but I guess that this was a pretty good idea. What was I on? 19, 20, 21, 22. Hey, we got some increase in number. Well, I think that's pretty good. So what I'm going to do is put these guys out into the flower garden. What is that, 23? So, yeah, I would say I probably missed one, so let's say double. We went from 12 to 24 probably. There's probably more in here. That's pretty decent. So I doubled my amount of worms. I'm going to put these into the flower garden, and then I will take 12 more out from the compost pile and try to populate those into this container. It's just a yogurt container, and I put some holes in the top, and I would check on them and feed them regularly. And you want your dirt to look like this, not overly wet and not too dry. And I have killed more worms than I care to tell you by doing it incorrectly. So this seems like a good method. Don't overfeed them, don't over-wet them, but don't let them starve or dry out. I hope that makes sense. Sometimes I kept this just inside. Sometimes I put it on a shaded patio. So I hope that helps you repopulate your worms with the native worms from your area so that they're better able to survive in your particular garden. That was my theory on this whole experiment. So I just wanted to show you I have about 3 to 4 inches of mulch here in the garden, and then you want to dig down, and when you put your worms in, you don't want to scatter them like you're adding some sort of microbes or any type of amendment. You want to really put them in one place, because this is going to make their own little colony of worms, and if they want to spread out they can do so. So you want to be sure not to spread these shallowly. So about as deep as the container is, that's how you want to put them into the garden. And my soil has gotten so much better with the Korean natural farming techniques and some of Rudolf Steiner's stuff. I really am a big proponent. I've been gardening for many, many decades, and it has just changed my soil here. I have heavy clay soil, and as you can see, it's really changing. So anyway, these worms will be part of the good process here. So we're going to just take them all and pop them in there like that, because they have little eggs probably and worm castings in there. You don't want to miss any of that goodness that they have made. Put them in there just in a big plop, and that's it. They're going to go in just like that. And then I'm going to water all of this later today. So this will be just a perfect spot for them to incorporate their goodness into the soil here.